Good afternoon. Today we came to our plumbing online class day 14. Today we'll be just dealing with some Excel sheets uh, and regarding how to calculate the pump head, pump capacity. Uh, we have already found out by using manual calculations and all. Today we have Excel sheets also. Okay, just if you are trying to give some values inside that, okay, you'll be getting the pump head. You can calculate the pump capacity and the diameter of the main supply pump and the overhead tank capacity. All those things you can able to know it. Okay, and not only that, I'll be taking some videos of these valves. I think you have already studied HVAC, in which I have already shown you different valves and strainers. But this plumbing video I'm already sharing with someone else also. There are many more students. Yeah, I will share this Excel sheet. Okay, I think by the end of this week, I will share in the Excel sheets, so you can use that. Okay, you can use that Excel sheets for finding out the uh, capacity and all those things. Okay, yeah. So yeah, not only that, I will be just showing today about the valves, because some of the students are just directly on the plumbing classes only, so they need to see the videos and all those things. So if you have already studied HVAC, please cop up with me. And yeah, so today let's start with uh, uh, pump calculation, pump head calculation and its capacity and all those things. Not only that, we will be seeing about the pneumatic system also. Okay, we have already done some problems related to pneumatic system, right? So there are Excel sheets also, okay, related to pneumatic system. Not only pneumatic system, we have seen fountain system. Okay, fountain system we have did some problems, and regarding the fountain system also, we will be seeing its Excel sheets. Okay, so yeah, so anyways, we can start with the and not only that, we have seen terrace looping in the initial classes. We have seen terrace looping regarding the high-rise building, correct? So we have seen what should be the pipe diameters and all those things, correct? So with regard to that also we will be taking with NBC only, like uh, with respect to that only, we have just calculated, or we have set up this Excel sheets. So from there itself we can find out the values. Okay, so let's go through by one, and for that I will take this. Okay, so first one, we can deal with water supply. Okay, this is the so you can see here, it shows the number of occupants. So wherever you see this this yellow line, this yellow, wherever you see this yellow, you have to give some values there. You have to give some values there. Okay, so rest everything will be given by the software itself. So overhead tank capacity will be given by that, and the main supply in the sense, the water that you are pumping from the underground tank or from the well to the overhead tank, that pipe supply, pipe diameter will be given to you. And pump discharge, mass flow rate will be given. Okay, and tank filling time. Okay, velocity, then about the diameters and pipe length. If you are giving all those things, you will be getting the total pump head, plus you will be able to know the pump capacity also. So let's do a problem. Okay, let's do a problem. For example, the number of people, number of occupants, you can just give it here. For example, if I'm taking 100 people, water consumption per day per person, you can take from the NBC table, correct? So what you have to do is that, go to the NBC chart, and this is the NBC water requirements table. So I'll open it. So depending upon the application that you get, Okay, it can be residents or it can be hostels or hospitals or stadiums or cinema halls or whatever it might be. Depending upon that, we can choose it. Okay, for example, here I am taking hostel or nursing homes or medical quarters like that. Okay, so you can see the domestic per day in liters is been shown. Okay, domestic as well as flushing also is been shown here. Domestic usage as well as flushing usage. So I have in the initial classes I have already taught you about we can have two different overhead tanks, one for domestic purpose and another for flushing purpose. So here normally you don't want to split it here. We are trying to find out the one overhead tank in which both the domestic as well as flushing is included. Okay, so we are not trying to divide it into two. If you want to divide it into two, you can do it by just taking separately this one for domestic separate, for flushing separate. So for the time being, I am not taking separate. I am taking as one single overhead tank only for domestic as well as for flushing purpose. So if I'm taking this nurses homes, so you can take whatever you want according to the application that you receive. So here I am taking a hostel or a nursing homes, and you can see here for domestic per day liter 90 liters per head. So one person uses 90 liters of water each day for domestic purpose. Okay, for flushing purpose it is 45 per head. So it is by the NBC. Okay, National Building Code only. So the total consumption per day in liters per head. Okay, so how many number of peoples are there? Okay, depending upon the number of the people, one person, okay, use total of 135 liters per day. You can see here 135 liters per day. Okay, you can see here for hostels it is 135, sorry, 135 per head. Per head means per person. Okay, so 90 for domestic purpose and 45 for flushing purpose. So here I am not dividing it into two different overhead tanks. I am combining this both flushing as well as this domestic as a single tank, and so you will be getting 135 liters per head. So 135 liters is being utilized by one person. Okay, so according to different applications, so this will change. You can see here 45, 30, 340, 450, 70. Okay, it changes. Okay, so normally this house residents and all those things, it will be in this range only. So 135 per head. So I am choosing 135 per head. So go back here, number of occupants 100, and I have given already 135. Okay, so I got the overhead tank capacity as you can see here 6,750 liters. So 6,750 liters. Okay, I think they have taken half day storage. Let's see how they got overhead tank. So 135 into 100, how much it will be? 13500, right? 00 divided by 2. Let's see. It is 6,750. So here they have taken half day storage only. Half day storage. So you can take 1 day storage or whatever it might be. But in this Excel sheet, the overhead tank is taken as half day storage. So you have to pump 2 times a day. Okay, in order to satisfy your demand. So your demand is how much? 13,500, right? 13,500 is your demand, but the overhead tank capacity is given as 6,750 liters only, or 6.75 meter cube. It's already written there, which means that they have taken half day storage. So in 1 day they have to pump 2 times. Okay, if they were choosing 13,500, what is the only change it will come? It will be, the change will be, they have to pump only 1 time. Okay, if they were using the overhead tank for 1 day storage. Okay, that's the only difference. So you got the overhead tank, and you can see the sump size is also given. Okay, the sump size is given automatically. It is 27,000 liters. So 27,000 liters is the, or 27 cubic meter should be the underground tank. 6,750 liters or 6.75 meter cube is the overhead tank capacity. 27 meter cube is the underground tank capacity. Okay. So I think they have taken 1.5 days or 2 days. I don't know. So let's see, 135. So how much it would be? 135. Just we are checking. Okay. 00 into 1.5. How much it would be? Will be 20. Okay, I think it just they have taken 2 days storage seats. 13500 into 2. Yeah, it is 27. So they have taken 2 days storage. Just 27 meter cube. So they have taken 2 days storage. Okay. So 2 days storage. You know they got the underground tank capacity. So we got overhead tank capacity, just giving by the number of occupants and the water consumption per day. So number of occupants you will be getting from the client. We can ask him, and he will be giving. Or if it is if you get a project like an auditorium or a cinema hall, you will be getting the architectural drawing, and you can know the number of seats. You can just count the number of seats. So with respect to that number of seats, you can know what is the number of occupants. Okay. Then second one is water consumption per person per day. That you have to go to the NBC, National Building Code of India, and go to the list and choose the application. And from that application, you can find out what is the amount or the daily consumption of water for domestic purpose and flushing purpose. And not only that, the total consumption also you will be able to know it. So with respect to that, and with respect to your design, whether you are trying to give an overhead tank for both flushing as well as for domestic, or you are combined, with respect to that, you can find it out. Okay. For example, if you are trying to find out for flushing separately and for domestic separately, you just go here and give here how much. If you are going for domestic, give here 90. Okay, and you will be getting 4,500 liter tank one. And for flushing purpose, you give 45 here, and 2,250 liters is the other flushing tank. Understood? So this way also you can find it out, and if you want to get 2 tanks, you will be getting 2 tanks. If you want only 1 tank, just give here 135. Okay, so 6,750 liters you will be getting here. That is overhead tank, underground tank, 2 days storage you'll be getting, and the diameter of the main supply pipe is already given, 40 mm. 40 mm is that. So this 40 mm you just give it here, and okay, just give it here to find out the head loss and all those things only. Now, next thing is, so you got the overhead tank capacity, you got the underground tank capacity or the sump capacity, you got the diameter of the supply main. Okay, diameter of the supply main. Now, the next thing that you have to keep it in mind is that the time requirement. Okay, the time, how much time that you need to refill your 6,750 liter tank. That is your option. You can say, I want to fill my overhead tank within half an hour. Okay, if you are saying like that, the capacity of the pump will be different. Okay. So if I am saying that I want to fill my 6,750 or 6.75 meter cube huge tank within 2 hours. If you are saying like that, you can just give here 2 hours. Okay, and you know that the velocity in the pumping main is 1.5 meter per second. That's a constant. Right? We know it by the NBC. They are stipulating that the velocity in the pumping main. Okay, the pressure. In that case, the velocity is 1.5 meter per second, correct? So, and I will be getting the pump discharge also. Okay, okay. This, I think this is in meter cube per second. It seems. Okay, this is in meter cube per second. It seems. Okay. Okay. Anyways, I think this is in meter cube per seconds or hours. I don't know. So this is why being meter cube per second, not in hour. Okay. So tank filling time is 2 hours, and velocity in the pumping main is 1.5. So this will be automatically, will be getting it. Okay. Now, when you give this, this will change. Okay, this will change, and that the diameter of the main supply pipe also changed. It is 28. Initially, you have seen it was 40. So it is now, it is 28 only. So standard dimension is after 28, it is 32 only. If you are going, you will be getting 32 mm. So you can apply 32. Why? Because this 28 mm is enough, because the tank refilling time you have changed to 2 hours instead of 1 hour. If you are giving 1 hour, it become 40. Okay, so depending upon the time, if you are giving 0.5, again this will increase. So it is 56. So which means that within half an hour you have to fill your 6,750 liter tank. So the diameter of the pipe also will be increased according to that. Okay, so better you can give one 1 hour is better, it seems. So give 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour. Within 1 hour I have to fill that tank. Okay, so when you give that 1 hour, the friction loss is 359 meter per 1000 meter. Okay, you'll be getting like that, and that is the head loss you got by the Hazen-Williamson formula. Now we have given the time, we have given the number of occupants, we have given the water consumption. So we got diameter of the pipe, overhead tank capacity, underground tank capacity, frictional loss we got, the pump discharge also we got. This is meter cube per second, it seems. Okay. Now we are going for the pump capacity, pump selection capacity. So first one, you have to give the pump pipe length. You have to give the pipe length. Okay. So you can measure the pipe length from your AutoCAD drawing. Okay. You can give the pipe length. For example, your pipe length is 100 meters, for example. Okay, 100 meters is your pipe length. This pipe friction you don't want to do. You just want to give only the thing which is given in yellow. Okay, losses in fittings and valves. Okay, losses in fittings and valves you can give 2 meter. Okay, because that is constant only. Okay, or if you want, for one fitting it is 0.5 meter only. With respect to that, you can just here losses in fittings and valves. So that you can give an approximate value. So for one fitting, if let it be an elbow or whatever it might be, it loses 0.5 meter. So if there are 10, if there are 10, if there are 10 fittings, if there are 10 fittings in your main supply, the head will be H2 will be 5, correct? H2 will be 5, because for one fitting it is 0.5 meter is the loss. So depending upon the number of fittings, so that in the main supply there won't be much fittings, correct? So just imagine there are 4 fittings, just give 2. If you want to give 5 or 6, whatever it might be, you can give that. Then next what you have to do is that total vertical height. Total vertical height. So if you are, see, this is one story, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So if I'm taking this as the question. So one floor it is 3 meters default. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 3s are 18. Okay. So 18. So you can give total vertical height 18. Okay. Plus, if it is from the well, you have to calculate the depth of the well, and you have to calculate the height of the tank also. For example, you can take this as 1 meter. So 6 3s are 18 plus 1, 19. And imagine this is a well. For example, if you are taking the water from the well, or the source of water is well, okay, you can, for example, normally it will be 10 meter or so. Okay, so how much it will be? 16 plus 10 will be how much? Sorry, 6 3s are 18. 18 plus 10, 28. 28 plus 1, 29. So approximately you can give 30. Okay. So total vertical height it will be 30. Okay. Then discharge head, it is a constant, you can give 2. Pump loss you can give 2. Okay. and so you will be getting the total head as 71.88. Okay, you have to add a safety factor of 10, and you will be getting the total pump head 79.07, almost 80 meter head. So the pump HP is 3. So for a for a hostel, if there are number of 100 people are there and they are using 135 liter per day per person, the overhead tank it should be 6,750 liters if they are using half day storage, and the diameter of the pipe is 40 and the sump capacity is 27 meter cube. And if I want to supply, or if I want to supply the water to the overhead tank within 1 hour, I have to give this time, and the velocity is also I have given. I got the pump discharge, okay, and pump discharge I have given. Then I got the friction loss on all those things. And the next one, for the pump selection, what I have to do? For the pump selection, what I have to do? Go to the pipe length, measure the pipe length, total pipe length, okay, except this total vertical height, okay. The total vertical height you can give separately, okay. Then losses you can give how much that you want. Then discharge head you can give 2, and pump loss you can give 2, and you'll be getting the total head, and safety factor you'll be getting 79. So when you are going for purchasing a pump, you have to say that I want a pump capacity of 3 HP with a head of 80 meter head with 3 HP capacity with a pump discharge of 0.0019 meter cube per second. Okay, I think this will be in second, because you can see here it won't be anyway, it won't be 0.0019 meter cube per hour, okay, because in 1 hour you need 6.75 meter cube, okay. So this might be in seconds only, okay, this will be in seconds. So so you got the value. Just what you have to give, the number of occupants, water consumption, then time you can give, then what you have to give, the pipe length and the vertical height. With that you will be getting. So we have to use a 3 HP pump of 80 meter head or 79 meter head. Okay, so this is the way that you will be finding it out. Okay, is there any doubt in this one? Especially in this calculation, do you have any doubt? Okay, so it's simple, right? So just only just give the values, okay, just give the values of it. Now coming to the fountain system, we have already seen the fountain system, correct? So just if you are go through your old video that I have already sent, and just compare that question answer with this fountain system, you will be easily getting the answer. Okay, this is the water fountain designing. Okay, this is the water fountain designing. So here we just need to know the pump capacity. Okay, we need to know what should be the pump capacity and all those things. So here also you can see the yes, we have to only input the yellow color excels. Okay, rest everything you don't want. Rest everything will be given by this itself. Okay, okay. So in this case also, in the water supply also, you just need to give the input for this yellow columns only. Okay, so here when you are giving here also, this pump loss will be a constant. Okay, and pump discharge head also you can give us a constant, and total head will be automatically, it will be calculated only. So just leave the 71.88 here. Okay, so that will be automatically, will be getting it. So just only focus on this. Okay, don't want all these things, just only focus on this yellow. Okay, yellow columns. Okay, the same way with this fountain also, just focus only on this yellow columns. Okay, so So we are dealing with water fountain designing. So first one, we have to choose what is our diameter of the fountain nozzle. Okay. So this is the input that we are trying to give, the diameter of the fountain's nozzle. Okay. So you can give at least, 8 mm is very small. Very small means very small only, right? 8 mm. So you know the pipe dimension. It starts from 15 mm only. So 15 mm, 20 mm, 25, 32, 40, 50. It goes like that, right? So fountain. You have already seen the fountain and how it is been spreaded and how height it is been going. You have already seen somewhere else. Okay, at least once or twice. At least you have seen it. So you can see here. See how much it will be. Okay, so for example, I am trying to give a 20 mm nozzle diameter. Okay, then velocity I am giving as 2 meter per second. Okay, the velocity is 2 meter per second. I just focus only on this yellow. Okay, yellow column. Okay, then so when I give this 20 mm diameter and velocity, I got the diameter of the pumping main as 44 mm. So give that 44 here. Okay. Okay, so I got the frictional loss as 186 meter per 1000 meter is the frictional loss in that pipe. Okay, so I got the friction loss. I got the pipe diameter. So I got the pipe diameter of the pumping main, as well as I got the friction loss. And discharge also I got 3.03 is the flow of the nozzle in liter per second. Okay, and next what you have to give is that the height of the water. So how much height you have to pump it. Okay, some days you need to pump only for 5 meters or 3 meters or 10 meters, or it depends. Correct. So you can see here how much height it is been going. You can see here. See, it is at least a 10 meter it seems. Correct, or more than that, I don't know. So this also have a good height. Correct. So you can just give the height. Okay, you can just give the height up to which the water has to reach. Okay, so I am just trying to give 10 meter. Okay, so when I give that, I got the outlet pressure in the nozzle, or outlet pressure head in the nozzle is 11.28. Okay, 11.28. So what is a thing is that when I give all these values only, this everything will change. Okay, so now you just see this thing, the flow changes. 4.41 is the flow, and the diameter of the pumping main is 53. Okay, so it is not 44, it is 53. It is 53. Okay, so it is 150 meter per 1000 meter is the actual head loss. Okay, so when I have given the height of the water fountain as 10. Okay, so the diameter of the fountain nozzle I have given 20. That is the diameter I have given, and I want my fountain to reach fountain water to reach at the height of 10 meter, and I have given that. My velocity of the pumping main is 2. When I given that, I got 53 as my pumping main pipe diameter. Okay, and I got 150 as the head loss by using Hazen-Williamson formula. The next one is my pump selection, as I have did it for the water supply. This also pipe length. Okay, pipe length, you have to give the pipe length. So last day we have solved a problem, and you have seen you can measure the pipe length. You can measure the total pipe length. Okay, so give that pipe length. Okay, so for example, I am giving 15 meter. Okay, 15 meter. Then pipe friction will be automatically known. This vertical height is already known. It is 7.28 here. That will be already, it will be valued here itself. H1, H2. Now suction head. So from where you are trying to suck the water. Okay. So last day we have seen about the 2-3 types of fountains and how the water is being sucked by using different pumps, and you have all seen that we have different tanks for that. Okay, we have a basin. Okay, so depending upon that you can measure the head or measure the length. So here I am taking 1 meter as the suction head from where it is been taken. Okay, the source of the water from the pump, I am trying to get the water from the tank. So you can just give suction head as 1 meter or 2 meter depending upon the size of your tank. Okay. Then tank height you can give 1 meter. Okay, tank height you can give 1 meter, where it's like a basin, right? Tank height you can give 1 meter, and suction head you can give 1 meter. So when they are calculating, they got the total pump head as 15.53. Okay, so 15.53 and pump efficiency 60. So you can change it if you want to give 65 also. 65 you can give it. Okay, or 60 or 60, whatever you want, you can give it. So yeah, so I have given the diameter of the nozzle 20 mm. I want this water to reach to a 10-meter height, and my pipeline is 15-meter. Okay, and suction head and vertical height, all those things will be given. Suction head and tank height also you just give it. Okay, and you got the pump head or pump capacity. You got the pump head as well as you got the capacity. Total pump head is 15.53. Pump capacity is 1.39. So 1.39 won't be there in the market. You'll be getting 1.5 HP. So you have to use 1.5 HP, and the flow through the nozzle is 4.41 liter per second. So you got the diameter, you got the flow, you got the diameter of the pumping main pipe, you got the height, you got the total pump head as well as the pump capacity. So, and you got the pump capacity by the formula this only, mass into acceleration due to gravity into total head divided by 1 second into pump efficiency. So this we have already done in the class. So this is just an Excel sheet. Just we are trying to give the input values only. Okay. Just we have tried to give the input values. That's all we have done here. Okay. Is there any doubt in this in this one? Water fountain design. Okay. Now we can go to the auto pneumatic system. Okay, auto pneumatic system. You know that we have seen we have already solved that problem. So better you go to the auto pneumatic system video, and we have already seen these things. This is just giving an input value only. Okay, so we can see here auto pneumatic system. VA means volume of air. So this is the tank. Okay, this is the tank. This is the volume of water in meter cube. This is the volume of tank in meter cube. So this is the total volume. This is the volume of air. This is the volume of water. Okay. So you know the formula VT equal to VW divided by 1 minus sigma B, and sigma B ratio will be 0.65 to 0.85. Okay, that you can give it here. Okay. Then additional volume coefficient for horizontal it is 1.25. For vertical it is 1 second, please.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir. Sir, this is complete hydropneumatic system. Like all the pipe along the pipe flow will be in pressure only, right?
Yeah.
Sir, actually, where I am working, I have one project. We have done one project. From sump to overhead tank, we have kept pneumatic system, sir. So from overhead tank, it will be gravity flow only. From sump to overhead tank will be on hydropneumatic, sir. Like whenever there is a drop in overhead tank, there is a sensor placed in overhead tank.
Okay.
So whenever there is a drop in that water level, so the pneumatic pump will start at sump and automatically it will fill, sir.
Okay.
So
okay.
in that case, like how to select the pump capacity, sir? Like
pump capacity depends upon the consumption of it. Depending upon the consumption of it, because I don't know why they have given the auto pneumatic system directly to the torque tank. Like they could have given directly the pump, right? Just
No, but why we have given is like, suppose if there is any failure in power or something like that,
okay,
so
okay,
it will be very difficult, right?
okay,
So
okay.
if you give directly to overhead tank, so at least we will have that overhead tank capacity, right? So
Correct,
it will
correct.
be half day or one day. Because
Okay,
of that, we have all like it is a semi-automatic,
understood.
automatic.
Yeah. So, so the same thing that we also have done it. I have already shown you when I have taught you the actual auto pneumatic system, right? So in that case, we have directly. I will show you that once more itself. So yeah, just
So just like normal pump calculation, you have to do, sir.
correct.
Okay.
So here in the auto pneumatic system, it will be in a pressurized system, right? So whenever there's a drop only, we need this type of setup. Correct.
Yes.
Auto pneumatic means, pneumatic means it is air, correct? So we have a compressed air, tank also will be there. So why we are using this type is only because like we need a proper pressure and all those things, correct? So if there is any drop, that there should not be any fluctuations. So depending upon the need and depending, so this auto pneumatics system we'll be using for a very large places only, very large. Like we have done it for a big this one only, a resort only, because it's a very wide area only, almost acres of land are there. So, at that time they'll be using it for different purposes. So it's better to give the auto pneumatic system because, we cannot do it by the help of gravity in that case because the overhead tank will be in one location and from there by the help of gravity, if you want to reach to a place of, 500 meter, it won't be, proper. We won't get the sufficient pressure also. If we need to get a sufficient pressure, how much height we have to keep it there. So that is not practical. So that's why we are directly giving the auto pneumatic system only. So in your case, I think you have given the auto pneumatic system for the overhead tank directly, right? From there, overhead tank,
Gravity flow is there.
gravity flow is there. So, so my question is, yeah.
From one sump, we have connected to multiple, like I'm working in NIT college, sir, like NIT Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
So from one sump, we are giving to at least 7-8 buildings overhead tank capacities. Like multiple branches will be there, and we will be giving to different overhead tanks.
Okay.
So all is under a pneumatic system, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I will show you my project once more, and you just see that whether you have did the same way.
Like in case of campus development, it will be like in case of single building, I was able to understand all the things. But in case of connecting one sump to 2-3 buildings, like how to calculate the pipe diameters, all these things again. Pump capacity, mainly in pump capacity. Like usually we will take time taking for filling the tank, right? Like 1 hour or 2 hours.
Correct.
So, but in hydropneumatic system, like it is not the case, right?
Correct.
So how to, like on what basis we will select? I have a little bit doubt on this.
1 second.
Okay, sir, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, you can explain if you have. You can explain tomorrow.
Yeah.
Also.
No problem. Just I will show you this thing once more. So I will show you the PDF of it. Yeah. So this was the, actually, they have set this, auto pneumatic system. My job was just to, draw the design of it. Okay. So in this project, they were having a, a raw water tank, as well as they were having a fire tank also. Okay. And to this fire tank, usually when we are trying to do a project, first the fire tank has to be filled. Then the overflow from the fire tank only has to go to the raw water tank. That is the rule. Okay. That is the rule. So, in this particular project, they were having almost four bore wells in different locations. Okay. And we have to pump the water from that four bore wells to this, fire tank. This is the fire tank. Okay. This fire tank is almost, 250 meter cube. 250 meter cube, almost 250,000 liter tank. From there, you will be having an overflow, and that will be going to the raw water tank. Its capacity is 196 meter cube. Okay. So from there, I have taken two submersible pumps. One is a standby. You can see here. Okay. And see, you can see this thing. This is the lines. You can, this red, cyan, magenta, and this green color are the four different pump or the water supply lines from the four borewells coming into this, this water tank. So that is been written here, inlet from well. Okay. So this two is from the inlet from municipal. So municipal tank water is there. That is also giving into the fire tank. And another one is from inlet from the tanker. So if there is any deficiency of water, in some cases, the water tanker will be there, and that is given here. So for water supply from the four different borewells, one from the municipal and another from the this tanker. Okay. So from there, the overflow will be coming, and it will be supplied into the raw water tank. Okay. So there is a connection between this both also. Okay. So if you want, you can pump directly to this also in need. If you want to pump it also, you can pump it like this. That's why I have given this. So from the submersible pump, the water has been taken, and you can see the direction of it is going, and it enters into the, carbon filter. First one, it has been filtering. Okay. And first it has been filtered. Then from there, where it is going is that it is going directly into the overhead tank. What you have said. This is the way that we have. This is the normal way that we have do. Okay, I don't know why directly giving to the overhead tank by the pneumatic system, because our aim is just to fill the tank, right? Then it is anyway it is going by the gravity only. What you have said. So anyway, you can see here. I have distributed to tank 1, tank 2, tank 3, tank 4, tank 5, tank 6 are there. So there is high level and low level switches is also here given for the automation. Okay. So this water is been coming from this raw water tank only. Okay. Through the carbon filter. Okay. And there will be a dosing pump also for chlorination purpose. This is just a schematic drawing only. Okay. Then we can supply it. From here, you can see here, this water tank 1, you can see it has been collected. One line is going through this, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, each there is a valve. Okay, what does this mean is that from this tank, from individual tank, there is a branch pipe is there. That branch pipe is only connected to the main line. Okay, this is the main line. Okay, this is the main line. There is a branch line. Okay, that branch line only you will be having an isolated valve. So if you want to isolate this tank, you can isolate that. Okay, so from there it is going to the, this is the UV sterilizer. Okay, this is another filter from the overhead tank. This is another filter only. UV sterilizer is there, 2 numbers, and from there it is going to the pump. This is the pump. 3 pumps are there. This is the auto pneumatic pump. And that auto pneumatic pump is been attached to this thing. This is the compressor that we have seen. Okay, that we have seen just right now. This one, this tank. Okay, and this pump is this one. 3 pumps are there. So from there only you are directly giving it to the, to the rooms and to the places that you want. So this is the way that we have to give the auto pneumatic system. So normally I don't think so. We have to give auto pneumatic system for the overhead tanks, because anyway the purpose of overhead tank is, or the water has to reach into that overhead tank, right? So just if you are trying to give a directly normal, pump system, also centrifugal pump or submersible pump, if your aim is to, fill your overhead tank, it is that pneumatic system is not necessary. If your aim is just to fill your overhead tank, because you said that already, from the overhead tank you are using the gravity, correct, gravity to supply to different fixtures. So is that
Sir,
what you
like,
meant?
why we given is like in your case, a particular time we need to switch on the pumps, right? Either in the morning or evening, something like that.
Yeah.
But in my case, like no one will be there, no one will be monitoring in the pump house. So it will automatically, whenever there is a drop in overhead tank, pump will automatically start and it will fill the overhead tank.
So I'm asking you why to give the auto pneumatic system, like if you are just giving like a sensor like high level and low level switch, okay, to your control panel, and if you are just connecting this with the normal, pump system, still you will be getting the water, no? If there is a low level in your tank, automatically that pump you'll be able to fill your tank, just giving this high level and low level.
Okay. Same thing, sir. Same thing we are saying, but they said it's a hydropneumatic,
Okay,
semi-hydropneumatic, something like that. They are saying.
understood. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So anyway, we are coming back. So this we have already done a question regarding this. Just now we are just trying to give these values directly into this. Okay. So if you know the pump discharge, you can give that pump discharge here. Okay. You can give the pump discharge if it is 1 liter per second. Then you can just give the enter the diameter. If you are changing the diameters to 1, no, according to that this will change. You can see here. So you will be getting the height of the cylinder. Okay. So you'll be getting the height of the cylinder. If you know the discharge and if you know the 0.7. Okay. If the diameter of the cylinder is 0.7, the height is 1.3, and this is already you got it. VW is 0.177, VT is 0.51. Okay. And you can give that value here. You can give this value here. Okay. And you will be getting how much head that you need. Okay. So 0.1, 0.51, you can give it here. 1 second, please. Okay. So if you are changing the pump discharge, it will change. Okay. This will change. VW and VT will change. You know what is VW, right? VW is volume of the tank in meter cube. VT is the total volume. So if you are reducing that, you will be getting this VA, because this plus this will be the VT, correct? Or you can get VT like this also. So anyways, so VT is 1.01, correct? 1.01. VW is 0.354. 0.354. And volume of after the compression, you can just give, you can find it out. Then VA also you will be automatically be getting, because this is the reduction of it. So the value that you will be getting is height of the cylinder you will be getting, and the height up to find out what height water can be pumped in the multi-story building. Also you can get it here. So you can pump 48.6 meter height head. Okay, this much height you can pump it. Okay, if you are giving this input, just I have just given some values, randomly only. Okay, so you can just give this value here. You can change here. According to that, this will change, and you can just take this value and you can place it here, and you'll be getting the head also. Okay, so that is there in the pneumatic system, auto pneumatic system. So all the formulas and all those things are given. So we have already did this in manual also. Manual calculation also we have did it. So just we have tried to give that values in this. Okay, that's all we have did. So you can just go back to the older, in a video where we have studied auto pneumatic system. Just study that and just compare with and give the values here. Okay. That's all about auto pneumatic system. Finally, we'll be just seeing about the water supply ring system. Okay, water supply ring system or loop system. We have already studied about the loop system, correct? So this I have already taken in the class. For example, this is the, just imagine this is the terrace of a big a multi-story building. So this is the domestic overhead tank and this is the flushing tank. From there, two outlet is been taken and it has been looped. Okay, we have did a problem also regarding this. Okay, these are the domestic loop pipe and this is the flushing loop. This is the telescopic downtaker through which this is the vertical stack or vertical pipe through which water will be supplied to individual toilets. Okay, here also, here also, to three sides, telescopic downtakers will be there. Okay, so we are going to find out the diameter of this loop. Okay, that is our aim. So you can just here, if you want to find out the domestic overhead tank, just give the number of quantities. Okay, number of quantities. How many kitchens are there? For example, I'm giving 10 kitchens. Okay, then yeah, 45 wash basins, 45 showers. You can give whatever value that you know according to your application. Okay, then taps, you can give 15 taps. Okay, and you will be getting the total peak demand. Okay, 70, and you can give total simultaneous demand factor, you can give in percentage. Then you will be getting the total demand automatically will be getting, and next you can give the total length of the terrace loop. I think you remember how we are giving the total length, correct? So total length of the terrace loop is 400 feet or whatever you want, you can give. I am giving 500 feet. You can give the number of outlets from the overhead water tank. You can give 2 or 1 or depending upon the design that you are making. Now height of the overhead water tank that you can give in feet. Okay, you can give 5 feet or whatever it might be. Distance of the overhead water tank from the terrace to the slab. Okay, that you can give 6 feet. So the pipe dimension is 2.5 inch. So you automatically will be getting this loop. This domestic loop pipe size should be 2.5 inch. Okay. Now coming to the flush water. So we have domestic loop as well as flushing loop, right? So number of flushes per hour, it is 6. Okay, it is a constant, it is 6. You know that the water consumption per flush is 2 gallons or sometimes 2 or 3 gallons or 2.5 gallons. You can give 2.5. Number of toilets you can give here. Okay, depending upon if I am giving 50 toilets. Okay, I will be getting the pipe size of the flushing terrace loop also. I will be directly getting this. This is very simple. Okay, just give the values. Okay, and for this you go to the previous video where I have taken high-rise building. Okay, terrace looping and all. Go there and just see a problem, and with respect to that we can just give here and you can find out the pipe size. Okay, this is mainly only for the loops. Okay, pipe loops. Okay, so that's all about this. Water supply, and this is auto pneumatic. This is water supply head we have found and the capacity we have found, fountain system we have found. Okay, when we are studying about the drainage and all, we'll be studying about the septic tank sizing and all, drain water pipe sizing and all. Okay, we'll be studying. So now we have just seen about the Excel sheets. We have seen about the Excel sheets and all those things, correct? And is there any doubt regarding this, what I have said right now? Is there any doubt regarding this? No. Okay, so by tomorrow we'll be mainly focusing on the stormwater calculation, okay, or rainwater harvesting and its pipe diameters and gutter diameters and all those things. We'll be focusing on it. And this I think from tomorrow onwards, we'll be dealing with this drainage. We were dealing with supply systems. Okay, we were dealing with water supply system. So from tomorrow onwards, let's see. I have to show you the, you know, yeah, oh yeah, I haven't shown you the videos. Okay, regarding the valves. Okay, so anyway, I will show you the valves and we can wind up the class today. So tomorrow onwards, we can focus on the drainage system. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be starting with the storm water drainage system. Then we'll be studying about the drain water pipe dimension and sizing of it and all those things. Different tank sizing and all. We can study. Okay, so anyways, if you have already seen this video, just bear with me. Anyways, because this recorded videos is been sending to more students. Okay, they need only the recorded videos. That's why I'm showing this. So anyways, I will be showing you on the valves. Okay, different types of valves we have now. So as we are studying plumbing, let's see. Let me know whether you can hear the sound or not. Okay, just give me a chat. Okay. So first we are going to deal with the ball valve. You might be knowing it. Yeah, so that was about the ball valve. Whether you are able to hear that, whether you are able to hear the sound, please let me know. Was the sound was audible? Okay. Anyways, next one we are going to deal with butterfly valve only. So I am not showing you the boxing of the butterfly valve. I will just show you the uh, how the water is being flown through the butterfly valve. Okay. I will just show you the how the water is being flown. Okay. This is butterfly valve. Now we can see about the gate valve. Now we can see about gate valve is over. Globe valve, okay. These are different types of valve, okay, that used for different purposes. Okay. Globe valve. Okay. I'll show you the now we can see about a plug valve. Plug valve is similar to ball valve only. Let's see. So finally we can see pressure relief valve, or we know it. Now swing check valve. So these are the important, valves that you need to know it, because you know these are the important valves that you may regularly use in this plumbing. Okay, so today we have just focused only on the Excel sheets, how to calculate the pump head, pump capacity, overhead tank capacity, underground tank capacity, main supply pipe diameters. Then we have seen about the fountain system, the pump capacity, the nozzle diameter, the main pump, uh, uh, you know, flow rate, as well as the pipe diameters. Then we have seen the about the auto pneumatic system. Okay, and we have seen about the loop system. Okay, loop, domestic looping as well as flushing looping. Pipe diameters we have seen depending upon the number of fixtures, okay, that is available. Okay, and depending about the number of toilets. Okay, so that's what we studied about. Okay, about today's supply. Tomorrow onwards, if possible, we'll be starting with drainage. Okay. Okay, so I think there is no much doubts for today's topic. I think it's been cleared. So let's see tomorrow. Okay, and I will send you the video link as soon as possible. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.